Line's good.
Never on!
Whoa.
Hard! Hardly.
Come on, Brent.
Line's good.
Got real close.
I hear high, right?
Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Ooh, welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham, Scott, physically distancing. As always, hello, Scott.
Sean, what's up?
It's another day in the nation's capital. Rideau Canal opening tomorrow. So big events going on.
Yeah, you pretty stoked? You got your
No.
skates all sharpened?
Now, see, it's I mean, it's nice that it's opening, but it's not opening far enough north. Like, it's not the whole Rideau Canal yet, so the part right at my house won't be open tomorrow. It's a stretch further south. So I only go when I can go right outside of my house and get on it in 2 minutes. I don't walk the half a kilometer down to where it will be open.
Yeah, that's weird. You'd think it would be open where you live. It's really shallow, so you'd think it would be easy to get it done, but I guess they're trying to, I don't know, open a smaller section first.
I just think it's the ice quality at my section. I'm further north. I'm closer to Somerset Street and the National Arts Center. For anyone who knows Ottawa, knows the canal a little bit. That section is always the second to open. Dow's Lake is always last. And the section is always second. I think it's just because of the ice conditions, because it's a more narrow stretch. And I don't know why else, but it seems like it's always a struggle for them to get it open. Once it is open, has worse like ice conditions than further south.
I see. Well, it's definitely cold enough for it to be going on. So cool. That's cool. And, I'm really busy with work stuff right now. Believe it or not, this isn't our full-time job, Sean. Podcasting. Sometimes I wish it was, but it's been super busy.
Yeah.
So, but Sean, you had some time to set up our show today.
Yes, that's right, Scott. It's another round of Canada's fastest growing game show. Name that shot, TM.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This was obviously a hit. We're going back to the well one more time.
Yeah, I had fun putting it together last time. I enjoyed listening to you try to guess. We got some good feedback on this episode. So I wanted to go back, do it again as a fun idea, name some shots. I got 10 shots, Scott, for you, and I have a bit of a ulterior motive in some of the shots, or not in all the shots, in the compilation in its entirety. And it's almost like a themed trivia round in a way. So we'll see once we get to the end of the 10 shots if you can guess the theme that I'm going for.
Ooh, perfect. I love this. And then maybe the theme will lead me to get some of the shots that I didn't get. But anyway.
We'll see.
So
I won't reveal the shots then as we go. You want me to wait until the end?
Yeah, let's wait until the end.
Okay.
I mean, I'll guess, but... That'll be good.
Okay, so let's get started, everybody. I will say, too, overall, this is going to be easier, I think, than the previous round of Name That Shot.
Phew. Thank goodness.
So, there's no random YouTube spiels on here, as there was last time. So I'll just say that. So I think it's a little easier. So let's get started, Scott, with a shot that I think will be very familiar to a lot of Canadian curling fans, at least, if not curling fans around the world.
This is so tough.
Oh, it's Jennifer Jones.
A most difficult attempt, trying to come in off a stone on the outside, trying to get the roll to the stone at the button. They're working on it frantically. There's the contact. There's the roll. She's made it.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Jennifer Jones' first Scotties win. 2005?
Yes, 2005 against?
Jen Hanna.
Against Jen Hanna. The rock that Jennifer Jones comes off of on this in-off shot to win was thrown by Don Askin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that one I knew from Mike Harris saying, "So tough."
So tough. So tough. Yeah,
That
maybe
was-
I should have
that's like-
started after that.
That's like you, Sean, doing Seinfeld trivia.
Yeah, just one word, got it.
One word, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 1 for 1, Scott. You're off to a better start than last time.
All right, I'm going to write this down,
Okay.
which ones they are. But yes, I'm ready to go ahead.
Okay, so shot number 2. Let's pull this one up. Oh no, that's not the right clip.
You did a wonderful job in the 10th end playing the draw, controlling the emotions and putting it right to the face of the opposition rock.
Let's go. Let's nail this, guys.
She needs the button.
Let's go, Heather. You got this.
Just draw back on that one she threw 20 minutes ago. Same speed probably in this spot.
You can make a shot.
Full four.
You're thinking draw to the button just like you've done all those times in practice.
Final stone on the way. Looking to put herself into the final. Full 4 foot. You can hear the oohs and ahs here. Maybe a little heavy. Nothing from Mayer. Nothing from Peters. All on its own. Looking for the 4 foot. Needs to stop. Needs to stop. And it's going to. Did it slide too far? You may want to put a stick to it. But from overhead, it looks like it just.
Scott, this is one of my favorite shots.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Heather Nedouin throwing it.
Yes, correct.
It's a semifinal, and I want to say that it is the 2011 or 2012 Scotties.
Yes, you are correct. It is 2012 Scotties against.
So it's the semifinal against
Grammarly helps make.
Sorry.
Against Grammarly, huh?
Against Grammarly, yeah.
Unpaid sponsors plug there. You're gonna have to tell me who it's against.
It's against Jennifer Jones. So in the clip, you see Jennifer Jones gets right into Caitlin Law's face as she's sweeping when she comes behind the tee line. Sort of a great visual there. But yeah, it's against Jennifer Jones, semifinal of the 2012 Scotties. You are correct on that. I'm
Very
giving you
good.
the full point, 2 for 2.
Cool. All right, that's good.
Okay. Shot number 3.
A back and forth game, and it all comes down to this. 10th end, final stone, Jason Gunlickson. He needs a big time shot. Run it back, bang the red, clip it. Oh my God! A Manitoba miracle, big.
Scott, Manitoba Miracle.
Yeah, so this is from the 2020 Brier, Jason Gunlickson. It's the morning draw. Is it the one against PEI?
Yes, you are correct.
That he throws?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Mudrick.
Monday morning?
So it's Mudrick, so you know
Tuesday?
it's the morning draw.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, that I'm not sure about. Monday.
I remember I didn't go to all of the morning draws.
Right.
when
I
we were
want to
there.
say Tuesday because I feel as though I saw this in Ottawa while I was homesick.
Okay. So that was a like a run back double or run back triple for the win.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Double run back for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Crushing it. You're 3
All
for
right.
3.
3 for 3. Let's keep it going.
All right. Another one of my favorites.
Plus now this is their 30 from this half. So all that he'd have left Cooey
On the yellow?
is 30 skip stop in the second half.
Hey, what's going on? Hold on a second. Did you come out to tell them that rock was coming off? Sir, what the fuck?
One of the best right there. Scott,
Sir, what
name
the-
that shot.
This is the Canada Cup 2019. Team Kui against the team with Nichols.
No.
Or not Nichols. Mark Kennedy playing. He's sparing for Ryan Fry.
Correct. This is the famed timing controversy shot of the Canada Cup when Hebert sort of argues with the official there a little bit and then argues with Mark Kennedy for some reason.
And Kennedy says, what do you want me to do,
do you want the point? This is sort of a great moment. That was the ill-fated timing rules that they tried out at that Canada Cup, which secretly I kind of liked. They'll never go back to it, but it was just one of those moments that was surreal in the moment. It's still surreal to think about it back.
Yeah, and I just remember it gave us a lot of fodder for the podcast to talk about those timing rules. Hasn't really come up in a while to change the timing rules. I wasn't a big fan of the end-by-end timing, but anyway.
Well, so there you go. Continue, Scott. You are continue to be hot here. 4 for 4.
Let's keep it up.
Morris will have the chance.
Hack weight round the guard. Come off of the top world rock, roll into his own for a catcher.
Wait's good. John Morris, Thiessen, Natalie Nicholson, Allison Pottinger, Thiessen all the way, Thiessen all the way, through the hole, all the way, touch it for the win.
Scott, name that shot.
So this is at the Continental Cup, and I want to say it's in 2015, and the team North America wins on that shot.
Yes, that is the case that they win on that shot. Scott, do you know where you were during that shot?
Well, was I right? It was the 2015?
No, you're incorrect.
Oh, okay. Then
the 2016 Continental Cup of curling.
Right, that's the one we went to. But I was sitting beside the ice, I think, in one of the corners.
Yeah, you were somewhere in the seats.
Yeah,
out there.
I was
on the media bench right behind that.
Yes, you were. That was pretty exciting.
Yeah. It was intense. That was a loud cheer. Really, that building got loud in that moment.
Yeah, that was really fun. To sell out that. It's a pretty small building, but it was sold out all the time and very, very loud.
Well, except for the morning draws. People were enjoying the Vegas nightlife.
Yeah.
So the morning draws were a little tame.
Back when the Continental Cup meant something.
Well, what did it mean? It's a TV show.
Yeah, it's a TV show, but it's a lot of Canadians going down and giving it their all.
Yes, that is indeed the case. So I'll give you the point. You're a year off, but I'll give you the point.
You know what? I looked at my notepad. I had actually written down 2016, and then I second guessed myself and thought maybe it's 2015. But
okay.
Does this qualify me for NBA Jam? He's on fire territory.
Yeah. So what do you want to do? Jump to the ceiling? Jump out of the screen?
Yeah, jump off the screen. Do like a windmill dunk.
Do you want to be glowing the whole time?
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So you're through the proverbial front 9 unscathed, Scott.
All right. Let's see if we can keep the streak going.
Yes. Let's make the turn. Here we go. Clip number 6.
Crowd settles down. White. The white. Draw for the win.
Line's good. Line's good.
Team Canada.
Looks light. Looks light.
Looks a little light, says Morris. Now it's up to Thiessen and Rycroft. They need the white. They need the button. Here's Morris too. They need the button to be the Brier champions.
Scott, name that shot.
Sean, that is Pat Simmons drawing for the win at the Brier in 2015.
That is correct. 2015 Brier, Pat Simmons drawing to the button, one of my favorite shots of all time, as I've said often on the show, largely because of the broom throw.
Yes, the broom throw is pretty epic.
Yeah, it is amazing, and I like to believe that up in the rafters of the Saddle Dome, it's still there.
That broom is still sticking around. It never came down.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious too if like one night some Flames player, Johnny Hockey's on a breakaway, and then out of nowhere this broom falls on the ice and trips him up, and he doesn't score, and the referee just has to be like, what? Like, what?
Perfect.
All right, 6-4-6, Scott. Here we go. Clip number 7.
Final stone on the way.
Got real close.
Okay. Line's good.
Not great numbers.
Line's never a problem.
Cooey.
Line's
Come on,
good.
Brent Lang. Ben Heberson. Come on, Brent. We need 4 foot, guys. You need the 4 foot. You need the 4 foot. Here comes Kennedy. You need the 4 foot. You got to carry it to the 4. To the 4. To the 4. And far enough.
Scott, name that shot.
2017 men's curling trials. The last shot by Kevin Cooey to get their berth in the 2018 Olympics.
Correct. Against
Mike McEwen.
Yes. And before I started that clip, Vic has just a killer line of talking about the McEwen team when he says a chance they might not ever get again or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Just really twisting the knife right into Team McEwen there in retrospect. If that draw misses, that line means something a little different perhaps, but certainly in the moment or knowing what happens, that just, that's why Vic's the best.
That's why he's the best. You got that right.
Yeah. All right. So you continue to be rolling here, Scott.
I'm going to ask Team Botcher to get on this train.
That's right. Yeah. So that's 7 for 7 or 6? Yeah, 7 for 7.
7. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Clip number 8.
Dad Craig can't watch. Can't sit still. Final stone, Ontario. The big crush. Look at this. Courtney Weagle. Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Of course, a clip that will be familiar to those of you who've listened to our intro. But Scott, name that shot.
Sean, that was Rachel Homan playing to, I forget if it was to win or tie. I think it was to tie the Scotties against Michelle Englot in 2019.
Okay.
No, 17.
Yes.
18? 19.
No, 17. You were right. 17.
17. Okay. Yeah. And,
yes.
It was to go to an extra end.
Almost. You're almost right about that. Michelle Englot had the hammer. Rachel Homan was facing 3 with her last one, and that is her very thin double to force Michelle Englot into an open draw for 2.
Right, at which tied the game.
Correct.
And sent it to an extra. Yeah, okay.
Yes. I love that call. I listen to our intro every week, putting together the show, and I continue to love it. Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have. Just, Vic is a tour de force.
I like how much Vic we've got on this this episode.
Yeah. All right, so let's see if we can keep the perfect record going. Clip number 9.
Playing the pick for a third straight championship. trying to hold the line. Askin, Officer, playing the pick. Have they got it? Yes, they do.
Scott, name that shot.
So this is Jennifer Jones again. And yeah. Whoa, just to buy myself more time, Sean, I got TSN on here, and Jack's there. Whew, it's got a mullet. Following the protocols. Good for Jack.
Jack is following the protocols. Jack is going nowhere near a barber.
Yeah, and I applaud it for him. I applaud him for that. So Jennifer Jones, going for her third straight championship, is going to be in 2012?
No, you are incorrect.
Oh, boy. To win Scotty's... Yeah, that wouldn't be right. Did she win 3 straight in 2011?
She did not. No. Amber Holland won in 2011.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to give up there.
All right. So let's move on to the next clip then, because we said we won't give away answers on one you didn't know. So
yes,
we will pass that one by and go to the next clip. This is 10, right, Scott? You have them all written down.
This is 10. Yeah.
All right. Clip number 10.
Final stone.
Yeah.
Up by 1.
Yes. Whoa. Whoa.
Westcott Wilson backing off. Can she pick this right off the face by the guard? Can she pick it off the face? Oh, my.
Oh, my. Name that shot.
Kathy Overton Clapham, 2011 Scotties in Charlottetown against Jennifer Jones.
Yes, greatest game of all time for my money in terms of the television experience.
Yes.
It's just a remarkable television viewing experience there. Watching that game, it was a Wednesday night. It was incredible. I've said it before. TSN put together a WWE level hype package at the start of the game, and it was amazing. The crowd was 100% behind Kathy Overton Clapham, and some of the other players were too. As games ended that night, players stuck around on the benches and were cheering for Team Manitoba. And if you've ever been to a live event, you know that once the game's over, teams are out of there. They're exhausted. They want to get out. They want to get into their routines. But not that night. The teams were sticking around. And the one I remember specifically, Kathy Overton Clapham gave a shout out to Andrea Crawford in the post game, being like, Andrea Crawford was all in on that. It was just great. Just amazing.
Very good. Very, very, very good.
So yeah, you were correct, Scott. So 9 out of 10.
And it's not bad, right?
I think that's a good score. Yeah.
And I knew that the number 9 was Jennifer Jones to win, but I couldn't quite place which year it was.
Yes. So Scott, if I gave you a clue and said that we watched this game together, would that help?
Yes, that definitely helps, because this must have happened when I lived in Montreal. And Sean, you came from Ottawa to watch the Super Bowl, but also the Scotties final was that day, and it was in 2010 because the Olympics were happening, so it was an early Scotties. And 2010 was the year that Prince Edward Island went on a huge run and made it all the way to the final. So that was against Prince Edward Island 2010. To three-peat, and we were rooting so hard for the ladies from PEI, and by that much, like a little pick, that's by how much they lost.
Yep, you are absolutely correct. That is the 2010 Scotties final. The great Kathy O'Rourke team. Kathy O'Rourke skipped that team, played third. Geraldine Ramsey was on that team. throwing the 4 stones. Just a remarkable performance that harkened back a little bit to Suzanne Burt's first Scotties appearance in a way of this PEI team that, I mean, everyone around curling in this country knows who Kathy Rourke is. She's just been around for a long time, been to a bunch of Scotties. And for folks who pay attention to the mixed nationals, she's played in that a whole bunch as well. So just a very big figure, but the team as a whole, not a lot of folks were familiar with it. So it was a lot of fun for them to come through, have a great week, make it into that final, and almost won.
Yeah, sort of set the template, right, for the more experienced players to team up with younger curlers that we've seen with Marianne Arsenault in the last little bit, and we saw with Michelle Englot a couple years ago. So it was sort of a trendsetter in that way.
For sure. So a great run and a great final too. So Scott, 10 shots, you got 9 of them right. Now we've identified the 10th. So if we go through them all, here, I'll let you, because you have them written down in front of you. Go through the 10 shots again.
Okay, so we have Jennifer Jones to win her first Scotties in 2005. Heather Nedowin in the 2012 semifinal against Jennifer Jones. We've got Jason Gunlickson making a shot in the 2020 Brier against PEI. Then the Canada Cup in 2019, the timing rules shot, Cooey versus Jacobs. The 2016 Continental Cup, John Morris for the win. And was it mixed skins?
Yes.
Pat Simmons draw for the 2020 or 2015 Brier. The 2017 Trials, Team Cooey versus Team McEwen. Rachel Homan 2018 Scotties 10th end to force an extra against Michelle Englot, and Jones to win the 2010 Scotties, and Kathy Overton Clapham to beat Jones at the 2011 Scotties.
Yes.
So, Sean, all I can think of is that there's maybe like some kind of a chain here where one relates to the next. Otherwise, I would just say these are all your favorite shots.
A lot of these are my favorite shots. You throw the Gushu shot in there in terms of some of my favorites for sure. But overall, Scott, each one of these shots has players who are going to the bubble.
The bubble connection. Okay.
Yeah, this is I was thinking about as we get closer to the event itself. The likelihood that it'll actually happen seems to be increasing. Until people land in Calgary, I'm not going to be 100% sure. But I was thinking, if this happens, let's get excited about it. Let's wet our whistle a little bit about what is possible from some of these players, some of those great moments that we've enjoyed in Curling Canada events, national championships. Even if the Canada Cup isn't an official national championship, it's a pseudo-national championship. But all of these shots include players who will be in the bubble, and just looking forward to seeing some curling on the assumption that it happens and that it can be done safely.
Cool. This is really cool. I'm getting excited for it. The World Curling Federation hasn't canceled the Worlds yet.
No.
So looks like it's maybe a go.
We'll see. Curling Canada did have press availability today to line up some of the logistic issues or just to announce some things. We do have draw times, Scott, which are not terrible for folks in the eastern part of the country.
Okay.
We got an 8:30 local, 8:30 Eastern for the evening draw. So if you back that up to 3:30 and 10:30 are your times.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely not too bad for folks like us.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't go with the 9. Is it the 9 to 7 local time set? That extra half hour really helps.
It does. It does. And it'll be nice, Sean, working from home, as you and I are fortunate enough to be able to do. I can have my curling on in the background while I work on my documents and emails.
Yeah. So last year, of course, we did daily episodes after each day of the Scotties and Brier. I have some ideas for how we'll cover it this year from afar. Of course, we did the Scotties from afar last year, but for the Brier, Scott was on site the entire time. And I have some ideas for what we'll do given the lateness of the evening draws. So we'll talk about that offline. We'll make an announcement about what we'll do once for sure it's actually going to happen, the event, I mean. So look forward to that. The other somewhat interesting piece of news I think that came out of that media availability today was that Curling Canada said that they were asked about travel restrictions that are currently in place across the country. They basically said, well, it's up to local authorities. We think everyone should be able to get here. It struck me as almost like to bring up WWE again, how Vince McMahon is like, well, they're independent contractors. And they're like, well, I mean, you could take a little more interest in their situation. So I thought that was a little curious. So we'll see how that progresses. Certainly, there are provinces across the country where quarantine rules are in place when you travel back and forth, and local municipalities are concerned about people coming in. So we'll see how this plays out over the next few weeks as we get closer to that bubble. But that was the only other, I think, interesting thing that came out of today. The other piece of news this week was the announcement that for the mixed doubles national championship, 35 teams will be invited into the bubble. All of the provincial and territorial champions or representatives will go, and then the rest of the teams will be based off CTRS points. Interesting, though, that they announced that teams that are new this year and had agreed to play together are allowed to combine the points that they had from last year. So basically, if two people were playing and they had 40 points, each individual gets 20 points to take to a new team. And that was not allowed in the four-person games or four-person teams, that if there were two new players on a team, they couldn't bring their proportion of their team's points with them to the new four-person team. Mixed doubles, they're allowing that. A couple players had some strong reactions to that. I think it's the right decision, but on a personal note, I will say, Scott, that bold prediction of Curling Canada making a decision that people are upset with has come true, not even at the end of January. I believe I had that.
You definitely had that, Sean. Definitely had that. 35 teams, it seems like a weird number, but okay. They'll figure it out. 5 pools of 7 for round robin play, and 12 will advance. Okay, cool.
It gets you that 6 games. Like, I think that's it. Like, you want to have enough games to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true.
And of course, if you're like the next team on the CTRS points, you're like, why don't you go to 36? Everything else always has even numbers. Like, I would take that if I was the next on the list. I'd be like, oh, that's a personal slight.
Yes, let's make sure that the Tucks are high enough on that list to get in. Otherwise, there will be some hell to pay for Curling Canada. Sean, also quick couple points that came out today is that the 2021 mixed championship, the 4-person mixed, is going to it was canceled for this year originally, and it's going to take place at the end of the year in November in Canmore. They announced that today.
Yep.
And
it is always a fall championship.
So then the 2020 was the one.
The 2020 was canceled. Yeah. So it's always a fall event. So yeah, the 2021 one will take place there in out west. Where was it? Kamloops?
Canmore.
In Canmore, excuse me, out in Canmore. And I think a lot of the provinces, or some of the provinces at least, or member associations, already had the mixed their mixed provincial championships for that 2020 event. A lot of them hold them in the spring, so those teams will probably hold over and go to 2021. For the member associations that didn't declare a champion, I'm not entirely sure what they'll do. They'll probably wait until the fall and try and get in an event. But that's a tough one, given how everything played out, right? With a lot of places shutting down in the spring and then no events being held this fall. So that's just an awkward timing one that even in normal times, people are always somewhat up in arms about, well, why are we doing this in the spring? Shouldn't we wait until the fall? But then the member associations that wait till the fall, people are saying, well, it's not enough time to really get into shape and do it at the end of the last season when everyone's at top condition. So it's just one of those awkward championships that where it is on the schedule can make it tough for the member associations to run their championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I just was reading the story here that they used to name the event for the championship year, even though it was played in the fall. So like the 2021 championship was scheduled in the fall of 2020. And now they're just going to change the naming to make it make sense. It's played in the year in which it was played, named for the year in which it was played. So
in essence, they don't really miss one then. Because there would have been a 2021 in 2019.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So the other thing, Sean, Devin Haru tweeted that media will not be allowed in the curling bubble. So there goes our dream of traveling to Calgary at the height of a pandemic.
This is quite a blow, for sure.
Quite a blow.
There's nowhere I'd rather be in the country than Calgary in February.
Yeah, you can get some of those good Chinook days where it gets up to double digits even. So
no press will be there. I think that's the right decision. We've seen other leagues, other sports go with digital availability. I'd be stunned if Curling Canada doesn't arrange for some sort of virtual availability in post-game settings. So we'll see if we can get in on some of those. It'll be a little tougher to ask questions and probably get audio clips, but it's the best that you can do. And given the bubble situation, you don't want to introduce more people into the bubble than necessary. And not to really be super duper critical of the curling media. I mean, nobody is winning a Pulitzer for the questions they ask in these media scrums after curling games. So,
yes,
let's, we don't really need to pour one out for that. I mean, I think most of the accessibility and most of the discussions that take place between media and players are not done in the formal setting. So that's where you're actually going to lose it. Not having media in the scrums in person, that is whatever. It's that stuff that takes place afterwards, at dinners, at the patch, in the hotel lobby. That's where a lot of the information gets passed along. So that'll be a loss for a lot of the media members, but text,
for sure,
they can text and call and do all that other stuff.
Yeah, damn right.
So,
all right, that's all, Sean.
All right, so that is your update for the bubble. Hopefully that gets you into the mood for a little bit of live curling. And if you're in the mood for live curling, currently, right now, as we speak, the Newfoundland Labrador Tankard is taking place. I believe their version of the Scotties is happening simultaneously to that. I could be wrong, but there is some streaming coming out of Newfoundland and Labrador. This weekend is also the PEI Women's and Men's Championships, best out of 5 series there, where you will see the legends of Suzanne Burt and Eddie McKenzie participate in those events. I believe they will be streamed as well. So we have some live curling going on, some streaming opportunities for you to watch the teams as they fight for a spot in that bubble. And as we convene next week, once we get into February, I believe that will round out the field for both the Scotties and the Brier out in Calgary. So some exciting stuff going on there. Scott, you said Greg Smith got off to a hot start today. Big shot to get a win in his opener.
Yeah, well, it was actually kind of a slow start to the game, and he was down 2 with hammer in the last end, and made an angle raise on his first, and then the other guys made a takeout, and then he had sort of a small hit, like a pretty good hit around a guard to score 3. And so made it, and you know, you can see the whole sheet on the stream, and he's jumping up and down and screaming, and that was just great.
So he hasn't mellowed at all since we last saw him.
Not really, no. But yeah, the stream's pretty fun. I just had it on in the background there while I was doing work, and I happened to look over in the last end. So yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, so good timing, Scott. Well done.
There you go. That's what I do.
So yeah, so throw our support to all the teams out there in the Atlantic region as they compete this weekend. Good luck to everybody. Stay safe out there. And that'll do it for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you have not yet, please do subscribe to the show wherever it is you get your podcast. Do the likes, the ratings, comments, all that good stuff. Helps us beat the algorithm. Helps other people find the show. You can also follow along with everything we're doing on Twitter and Instagram at Game of Stones Pod. Tweeted out and posted a picture on Instagram this week of the second ever Enrico Palazzo virtual Bonspiel held with some folks who we know here in Ottawa who we curl with. An exciting weekend, very prestigious event, and who wins isn't always important in these things. But I won, so I was better than everybody this weekend. So Scott, the two events that we've had, no one's been able to beat us in this.
Yeah,
we're 2 for 2.
Sean, if I couldn't win myself as I did the first one, I was happy to let you stand in our stead.
And that's through the Curling Zone Fly or Die Curling. And a lot of fun to do that. You can play with your friends in real time. It's a lot of fun. So we just had a Google Meet going, doing a little trash talking as we all played from our various houses. So it's a lot of fun to do that. So we'd encourage everybody to check that out if you want to do a little curling yourself in whatever way we can, with the facilities being closed, a lot of them across the country. Also, you can head on over to GameOfStonesPod.com and follow along with everything we got going on there. All of our past episodes are there, plus the link to the t-shirts, the merch, 3 colors of t-shirts. We are selling them, all proceeds going to Food Banks Canada, and we are matching all those proceeds. So we will be doing another donation as we round it up at the end of the month to send that off. So if you want to get that in for a January donation, please do check that out. And of course, you can always get in touch with the show, GameOfStonesPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you want to hear, some feedback as we look forward to covering some live curling. So that'll do it for this week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Stay safe out there. And of course, keep your brooms on the ice. Don't dump that intern.
Make the final.